So if you're in marketing, you know the deal. You have spent your entire career chasing that #1 spot on Google. But what if I told you that in this new world of AI, that #1 spot is basically worthless? Okay, let's dive into the biggest shift in search since search began. We're talking about Generative Engine Optimization, or GEO. This is the new playbook, folks.
I know, it sounds absolutely insane. For decades, being #1 was the whole game. It meant traffic, it meant customers, it meant you were winning. But now, with AI just directly answering questions, that entire model is just breaking. Think about it. When a user gets the perfect answer without ever clicking a link, your top ranking is like shouting into a completely empty room.
And look, this isn't just a guess. The data is screaming at us. That number you're looking at, that is the collapse. The nosedive in clicks for that coveted #1 spot since AI overviews became a thing. We're talking about a drop of nearly 2/3. The traffic we have all fought so hard for is literally vanishing into thin air.
The ground has completely shifted under our feet. AI isn't some separate tool anymore. It's baked right into search. It gives answers, not just a list of links to find answers. And that means we need a whole new strategy. So first, let's really get a handle on the problem. Brands that are still playing by the old SEO rules are seeing what we can only call a traffic collapse. Users are just getting what they need right there on the results page. They never even have to visit your website.
I mean, this chart really puts it into perspective. The click-through rates for informational searches have absolutely plummeted. People get their answers from the AI, and that need to click on our beautiful, carefully optimized blog posts, yeah, that's disappearing, and it's disappearing fast. And here it is. This might be the most terrifying stat of them all. A recent audit found that a staggering 92% of top brands are invisible to the leading AI engines. Just let that sink in for a second. The biggest companies in the world have basically no presence where their customers are now looking for information.
So, okay, how do you fight being invisible? The answer is Generative Engine Optimization. And you know the best way to get it is to compare it to what we've been doing for years.
For all this time, we've been doing SEO. And you can think of it like being a really good librarian. You tag your content with keywords, you organize your site perfectly so a person can find the right book on the right shelf. It's a system designed for finding stuff.
GEO, though, is a totally different game. It's like you're training an expert personal shopper. The AI doesn't just point you to an aisle, it listens to exactly what you need, it picks out the perfect products, it tells you why they're the best fit, and it makes a direct, confident recommendation. It's not about finding information, it's about becoming the information. So, the official definition? GEO is all about structuring your brand's information so that when an AI answers a question, it uses your data to build that answer. The goal is not a click. The goal is to get your brand's facts woven directly into what the AI says.
Let's just break it down nice and clear. With old school SEO, your audience is a person and your goal is a click. Simple. With GEO, your main audience is now an AI model, and your goal is to influence its answer. You have to stop optimizing for keywords and start optimizing for facts, for structured, provable data.
You know, this whole shift from SEO to GEO means we have to fundamentally change how we think about content. The old strategy of just, stuffing keywords into a page, it's not just useless now, it's a complete dead end.
People today aren't just typing running jacket. They're asking really complex, conversational questions just like this one. They have all these specific criteria. In an old-school keyword-focused article, it has zero chance of actually answering this question well.
So, what's the AI actually looking for when it sees that question? It's breaking it down into a checklist of hard facts. It's not looking for our clever marketing copy. It is hunting for data, a specific waterproof rating, an exact price, a distinct feature.
So here it is, the single most important rule. Your new content strategy has to be built on facts. Instead of saying your jacket is really durable, you need to say it's made from 1000D Cordura fabric. That's the specific, quantifiable data that AI engines are literally built to trust and prioritize.
Okay, so this all makes sense, but how do you actually start? It can feel like a lot, I get it, so let's just break it down into a simple 5-step plan that you can literally start working on today.
All right, here we go. Your 5-step starter plan. First, you've got to audit your data, find all the inconsistencies, because AI really distrusts conflicting info. Second, identify the gaps. What facts are you missing? Third, centralize everything.
Fourth, you'll set up a workflow to enrich that data. And finally, number 5, you have to start measuring success completely differently, tracking your influence, not just your clicks.
Now, I really want to double-click on step 3 here because it is the single most important piece of making GEO work. You have to, and I mean have to, get your data out of a million scattered spreadsheets and into one central hub. It is absolutely non-negotiable.
And that central hub, it's called a Product Information Management System, or a PIM. A PIM becomes your single source of truth for every single fact about your products. It's the engine that kills inconsistencies and makes sure the AI is always getting clean, accurate, reliable data. It is the absolute foundation of your GEO strategy.
And finally, once you're doing all this stuff, how do you even know if it's working? Our old metrics, clicks, rankings, they're basically just vanity metrics now. We need a whole new dashboard for what really matters.
We have to make the mental shift from measuring clicks to measuring influence. The new KPIs are all about your presence inside the AI's answer. So now we're tracking things like how often is our brand mentioned? What's our share of voice for key questions? And most importantly, how often does the AI cite our website as its source?
And don't worry about getting less traffic overall, because the traffic you do get, it's pure gold. Traffic from AI referrals has shot up 527% year over year. And why is that? Because when a user comes to your site after an AI recommends you, they are super qualified and they are ready to buy.
I mean, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? The game has changed. Winning isn't about being at the top of a list of links anymore. Winning is about being the authority that the AI trusts. Because if you're not mentioned in the answer for today's customer, you simply don't exist.
So I'll just leave you with this one thought. As your customers rely more and more on AI to make decisions for them, you have to ask yourself one very simple question. Is your brand even set up to be part of the answer?